Good evening. You're joining with Prime TV News and I am Pankaj Kulutunga. First, the news headlines. Several High Commissioners call on the Prime Minister. If Parliament is to be dissolved in March, the general election is likely to be held in the last week of April. Attention drawn on abolishing the fuel price formula. Former Central Bank Governor Arjun Mahendran to be dealt under the extradition law. Dispute Royal NATO Alliance meetings in London. Welcome back. Now for local news. Several High Commissioners called on Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa today at Temple Trees. High Commissioner of New Zealand Joanna Kemkers met Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa this morning. The long-term cooperation on dairy products and livestock was one of the major areas discussed during the meeting between the Premier and the High Commissioner. The New Zealand High Commissioner said that the New Zealand government is ready to support business development and many other related sectors of Sri Lanka in the future. High Commissioner of Canada in Sri Lanka, David McKinnon, also called on the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa today. The High Commissioner and the Prime Minister had discussed at length on trade and investment, education as well as reconciliation process in Sri Lanka. The Prime Minister noted that Canada has invested heavily in Sri Lanka. Bangladesh High Commissioner Riaz Hamdullah also met the Prime Minister at Temple Trees. Discussions were focused on trade and economic cooperation. The High Commissioner of Bangladesh also extended a letter of the Prime Minister of Bangladesh to the Sri Lankan Premier. The Bangladeshi Prime Minister, who has congratulated the Prime Minister in her letter, has also invited him to visit her country. Chairman of the Elections Commission Mahinda Deshapriya says that if the parliamentary dissolution takes place on March 1st, the general elections will take place on April 25th, 27th or 28th. He said this at a meeting of the Elections Commission. A meeting was held between secretaries of political parties and the chairman of the Elections Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya. Minister Mahinda Amaravira states that it has been decided to abolish the fuel price formula. The minister stated that the decision will be implemented on the recommendation of the cabinet. He said this while participating in an inspection tour of the Sabuka Skanda petroleum refinery. Minister Mahinda Amaravira added that no decision has been taken to increase the fuel prices. He mentioned that the people face many discomforts when the fuel prices go up, as the fares of public transportation are also subjected to change. Minister Mahinda Amaravira highlighted the policy manifesto of the President will be implemented to ensure benefits to the public. Former Central Bank Governor Arjun Mahendran, who is the main accused of the Central Bank bond scam case, has been referred to the Singapore Attorney General's Department for extradition proceedings under extradition law. The Permanent High Court trial at bar had issued warrants on August 9th for Arjun Mahendran's arrest. The relevant documents have been sent to the Attorney General's Department of Singapore through the Ministry of External Affairs. Additional Solicitor General Parinder Ranasinghe said that the Singaporean department is investigating whether the documents and claims are in accordance with the law of Singapore. He said that information is consistently exchanged via the electronic messages for this purpose. Meanwhile, the sixth accused of the case, Jeffrey Aloysius, was granted permission on the three-bench High Court to go abroad for 2 months under the additional sureties of 2.5 million rupees. The 10th accused of the case, Ajahan Gardia Punchiheva, was also evading court and was issued notices to appear before the court. The Met Department announces that due to the low-level atmospheric disturbances in the vicinity of Sri Lanka, prevailing showery condition is expected to enhance over northern, northeastern, north-central, Uva and central provinces. According to Atula Karunaratne, Director General of the Department of Meteorology, cloudy skies can be expected over the island. Showers or thundershowers will occur in northern, north-central, eastern, Uva, central and southern provinces. Showers or thundershowers will occur elsewhere after 1 p.m. Very heavy showers above 150 millimeters are likely at some places in Trincomalee, Batticaloa, Ampara, Mullatiu, Nuwara, Badulla and Monragala districts. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in north central, Sabaragamuwa, southern and western provinces and in Matale, Kandy, Jaffna, Mannar, Kilinochchi and Vaunia districts. Fairly strong gusty winds of up to 50 to 60 kilometers per hour are expected to be scattered over the island, particularly in northern, north central, northwestern, central, Uva and southern provinces. The general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thundershowers. Meanwhile, Deputy Director of Disaster Management Centre Pradeep Kodippilly requests the public to be vigilant about landslides. Several roads in Colombo were inundated due to heavy rains. According to our correspondent, traffic was hindered and heavy traffic congestion was observed. Heavy rains continue in the northern province too. Several low-lying areas have been flooded in Vaunia, Settikulam and Maharambakkulam. A discussion with party leaders supported the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna at the presidential election. Victory was held under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that the recommendations of the report on the central bank bond scam will be implemented. He added that the process will not be interrupted by the proroguing of the parliament. Dinesh Gunawardena mentioned that a lot of other frauds from various departments have also been uncovered. State Minister Vasudeva Nanayakara said that the president claimed that the discussions held during the Indian tour were very successful. The issue of Indian trawlers violating the Sri Lankan sea area was discussed during the president's visit. According to the minister, the selling of state properties during the past administrations will be renegotiated under the new government. State Minister Kehelia Rabukwella said that the Swiss embassy employees incident was the primary focus of today's discussions. The minister denounced the modus operandi of the incident resembling to an orchestrated drama. Parliamentarian Udaya Gammampila said that the acts pertaining to the relief package given to the general public under the tax concessions needs to be passed by the parliament according to the country's constitution. The MP noted that the relevant gazettes will be published within 2 weeks. State Minister Rohitha Abegunawardena said that the immediate steps will be taken to aid the victims from the adverse weather. The President and the Prime Minister have both instructed the authorities to be swift in this matter. Rohitha Abegunawardena mentioned that the steps to consolidate a vote base of the 2/3 in the upcoming parliamentary elections were also discussed at the meeting. Speaker Karu Jayasuriya says that he was requested by the chief prelates and the Anunayakas of Siam Nikaya to maintain discipline and unity within the United National Party. The speaker received blessings from the chief prelate of Malwatu chapter, Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thera at the Malwatu Mahavihara. The speaker also called on the Anunayaka, Venerable Dimulkumure Vimaladharma Thera, Karu Jayasuriya, subsequently called on Chief Prelate of Askiri chapter, Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnanaratana Thera at the Askiri Vihara. The speaker, replying to queries made by the reporters, said that he is unable to meddle into internal affairs of the party in the caliber of the speaker. He said that, however, he will be attending to the request of the chief prelates while considering limitations of his position. The speaker noted that he will remain unbiased. He highlighted that his full support will be extended to the Elections Commission to ensure that the upcoming parliamentary election is free and fair. He mentioned that the discussions have already been conducted with the Elections Commission. Navy Lieutenant Commander Chandana Prasad Hettiarachchi further remanded in connection with the abduction and disappearance of 11 youths. The order was given when Navy Lieutenant Commander Chandana Prasad Hettiarachchi was produced before the 4th Magistrates Court. The magistrate ordered that the suspect be remanded until the 18th of this month. The Supreme Court today announced the verdict of the case filed against former President's Chief of Staff, Dr. Kusumdasa Mahanama, and former Chairman of State Timber Corporation, P. Disanayaka, will be declared on the 19th of this month. The case has been filed against the defendants under 24 counts by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery and corruption. The date for making oral submissions on the case against former Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayaka on contempt of court has been fixed for February 26th next year. The petition was filed by two parties, including Venerable Magalkande Sudatta Thera. More on local news. Hans Timmer, the World Bank's chief economist for South Asia, says he hopes to work with the new government of Sri Lanka to address economic challenges of the island nation. He made these comments delivering a lecture on economic challenges organized by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Central Bank Governor Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy and other officials of the banking sector also participated at the event.
There is really a sharp slowdown of the last year in South Asia. It comes on top of all kinds of structural problems that you already had, but it's very consistent with something that we are seeing throughout the world. There is very weak investment. There is a lack of domestic demand. It's not a coincidence that you see that your imports are slowing faster than your exports. That is what happens in a case like that. And often the impact in developing countries is bigger than in high-income countries because the investment as share of GDP is larger in developing countries. So we shouldn't be that surprised that we all see weak imports, improving current accounts, and very weak investments. The problem is that there is no policy space to react to that, and that will be a very tricky balancing act to get that right. The second point is, for all kinds of reasons, we should be very positive about this region. There is truly a high growth potential, both for internal and external reasons. But then there are all these issues that have to be addressed, and they can only be addressed when there is full urgency and a relentless commitment to attack those regions. If you look at other countries like China, like Korea, that have grown for a long period, they have been able to overcome all these obstacles that all the time arise. And that's a challenge for South Asia also. And then finally, perhaps there are opportunities to really change the development model and change the policies, also the outward-looking policies. So have a good look at all these opportunities of the digital development and where you might have opportunities in the informal sector. Have a look at the role of South Asia in the world economy. Is it taking enough of a leadership role?
The Commissioner General of Educational Publications has instructed the school principals to hand over textbooks to the students for the upcoming year on the first day of the first school term. The Ministry of Education has taken measures to distribute school textbooks to all the schools where more than 1,500 students are studying in the country. The Educational Publications Department states that all the other schools will be provided textbooks through zonal education officers and cluster schools. However, it has been revealed that some school principals have not taken measures to obtain the textbooks from the zonal educational officers or cluster schools. The Ministry of Education has informed the public to contact the ministry on 0112 784 815 regarding textbook issues. Parliamentarian Ranjit D'Souza has passed away. He was 57 years old at his demise. Ranjit D'Souza was born in 1962 in Godakavela and studied at the Siddhartha Vidyalaya Alpitia and the Rahula National School, Godakavela. He is a diploma holder in agriculture and entered active politics in 1997. He was the chairman of the Atakalampanna Pradeshya Sabha. Later, he served as a minister of the Sabaragamuwa Provincial Council. He was later elected to the parliament for the first time in the 2010 general election, representing the Rakwana electorate. Ranjit Soiza was elected to parliament for the second time with the highest number of votes in the district at the 2015 general election, representing the United People's Freedom Alliance. He became the deputy national organizer of the joint opposition with the political change for the year 2015 and was committed to the victory of Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the last presidential election. He passed away last night while receiving treatment at a Singaporean hospital. The remains of the parliamentarian are due to be brought to the island today. Arrangements have been made to bring the remains to his residence at Masimbula, Godakavela. The family said that the funeral of MP Ranjit Soiza will be announced soon. According to Anuradhapura District Secretary R.M. Vandinayaka, 40,000 kilograms of paddy in paddy stores in Anuradhapura district will be converted to rice. The district secretary also said that steps will be taken to distribute the rice to the Satosa. He was speaking at a press conference held at the Anuradhapura District Secretariat. The Anuradhapura District Secretary stated that this step has been taken on the instructions of the government to issue rice to the market without any shortage. Meanwhile, complaints have been received by the authorities regarding substandard rice releases to the market. The Public Health Inspectors Association requests the public to be vigilant on the situation and educate the law enforcement bodies immediately about such malpractices. A ceremony to commemorate the 48th National Day of Saudi Arabia was held in Colombo under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa attended Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi representing the government of Sri Lanka, and Saudi Arabians living in Sri Lanka participated in the National Day ceremony. Addressing the gathering, the minister said the new government was adhering a non-aligned foreign policy of friendly relations with all countries. Congratulatory messages from the President and Prime Minister of Sri Lanka were extended to the King of Saudi Arabia and the people of Saudi Arabia on the occasion. Prime News returns tomorrow. And in the meantime, make www.itnnews.lk your go-to source for the very latest in news, at home and overseas. Signing off, I'm Pankaj Kulatunga. Good night.